Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Karthik is here. Omkar, any instructor around?
Sir, me, Atul Pratap. Sir.
Atul, hi. So I'll start now and I'll go till, let's say, another hour's time. After that, you can take over. Is that fine?
Okay, sir.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I see many people joining in. I believe there will be not many people. Looks like it because it's 3 already. There are only 26 on the member list. So that should be fine, not a problem. So tell me, how is it going? How are you people finding the course so far? Maybe you can type it. It's easier for me to read there than hear you people out. I would prefer that for a simple reason that your mic, your background noise might be a distraction. So it will be wonderful if you can type your messages. Okay, so Must Sir says, Shailesh, good. Time crunch, have taken 4 courses. Yeah, that's always the problem, unfortunately, in general in learning. The course is going well, says Cherian George. Wonderful. Great, says Sachin Kumar. Going good. Great, sir. Going well. Good. Same here, 4 courses, time crunch. Obviously, that's there. Life is all about that. Managing time with efficiency. Enjoying the Python course. Good. All right. Looks like so far so good. Going well, sir. Okay, good. All right. More feedback. Maybe you can type and then send it across. More feedback. Today's session, I will give you a couple of tips and then teach you something live. All right. Good afternoon, sir, says Abhinit. Good afternoon. The course is going great. Learning like Arjun and you seems to be Krishna. Okay, so this is more of a Ekalavi, I'm sure, because you don't have a teacher next to you, right? So it's distance learning. Good. I see many people come in, 36 participants, very good on a Sunday evening. That is worth appreciating. It's a weekend. All right, so it's if you're wondering, I have a long hair. That's because of this is the lockdown look that I'm showing off, because in Mysore still the lockdown is on. Today happens to be the last day. For the past almost, if I'm not wrong, May, June, more than 2 months there was lockdown here, and only now the lockdown is getting lifted. Today is the last day. When I first spoke to you people, I had a haircut. After that, I haven't had. If the lockdown continues, you'll see me with a pony. Anyways, whiling away time, hoping for people to join in. All right, so I believe people have joined so far. That should be enough. 40, yeah, that's a good number. Let's start. Right. Okay. All right, so I have a few important tips to give you people, especially based on the comments I'm receiving over email. Okay, many of you sent me an email. I could not respond to all of you, but most of it I have tried addressing in my videos itself, in terms of tidbits here and there in my lecture videos. But in case I have missed your email, I have not responded to your email, please send a reminder over that email thread where you had sent long back from my previous session. I'll reply back. All right, so here is a couple of here is a tip, maybe a couple more coming, but the most important tip is a small analogy, as in always. Okay, so you see, if assume I want to start running, there's a marathon coming up by let's say November, and I plan to run the marathon. Marathon is roughly 42.2 kilometers. There's a reason why I'm saying this. 42.2, roughly 40 kilometers, let's say. Okay, and the average runner runs it in 4.5 hours, it seems. Okay, which means more than that, less than that, but on an average, everybody runs in 4.5 hours. 40 kilometers, which is roughly a little over, let's say, in the neighborhood of 10 kilometers per hour speed. Now, if you start wondering, 42 kilometers non-stop can I even run? On the first day, I can bet you cannot even run half a kilometer. It's very tough. You'll be gasping for breath. You cannot manage to run at all, in fact. But within a week's time, you'll observe that you can easily cover a couple of kilometers. At the end of, let's say, 1 month, you would have crossed at least 8-10 kilometers. And it's believed that in 16 weeks' time, you can prepare yourself for a marathon. 16 weeks is roughly 4 months. So if I want to run a marathon this November, if I start today, I'll be running not beyond 500 meters, half a kilometer, but in roughly around 12 weeks time, I will have the lung capacity and my stamina would have improved and I can run a marathon. So please get the analogy right. First day of me running half a kilometer tells me nothing about my ability to run the marathon after 16 weeks. Now, let's underline this statement. Please understand this very carefully, especially those who are struggling with Python programming. Please understand that this analogy of marathon holds good in Python too. I've been telling this to you people from day one. The word marathon today used in a different sense. What you run on the first day is not indicative of what you're going to run after 16 weeks. Similarly, as you keep learning Python, you will start understanding some skill sets that are required. Skill set number one is you will not feel put down when you face errors. Assume you're doing a simple math problem, solving an algebraic equation. Okay. Initially, you make a small mistake somewhere, I mean, it's gone. I mean, the final answer is wrong. But in programming, that's not true. You make a small error. Generally, syntax error, you can fix it and then you can go ahead. And almost always when you type a piece of code, you will have errors there. You should get used to it. Skill set number one, you don't feel low when you face errors while you're coding. Facing errors is, part and parcel of programming. You can't help it. Number one. Number two is you should not, thou shall not reduce the number of lines of a piece of code. Okay. I'm reminded of this beautiful quote by Blaise Pascal. Pascal was a very famous mathematician. There's a programming language called Pascal. If I remember it right, his quote goes like this: I write long letters because I lack time to make it short. I write long letters because I lack time to make it short. I write long code because it's not easy on my mind to make it short. Short doesn't necessarily mean sweet. You see a typical Bollywood movie that is of 2.5 hours duration, 3 hours duration. It's only you can summarize it in 2 minutes. If the director summarized it in 2 minutes, would you like it? Like the Bollywood movie? Sometimes 2.5 hours is required. Sometimes a long piece of code is required. Readability comes first. Writing short code doesn't necessarily mean that the code will run faster. For you to make the code run fast, number one, you must be efficient in your algorithmic thinking. You saw the example of binary search, how it could, beat a linear search in leaps and bounds. I even exaggerate rather. I emphasize there that if you run linear search on a supercomputer and binary search on a IBM 386 or 486 machine, a very weak machine of 90s can beat a latest supercomputer if you're running the right algorithm. So algorithmic thinking is important. Short is not sweet in programming. In fact, you should write long code with a lot of comments. I may not do that when I'm typing in the interest of time, but I myself, whenever I write code, I ensure that I write more comments than the code itself. See, code as poetry and comments as summary of a piece of poem. Generally, summarizing a poem is longer than the poem itself, right? So you must write comment, write long codes. Don't worry about keeping it short by using very cute codes and sophisticated Python functions. The idea is to write efficient code, okay, not short code. All right. As an always marathon example, analogously speaking, you should not compare yourself with a person who is into programming for the past few weeks or months or years. He, of course, will be ahead of you. But after 16 weeks of training, let me tell you, almost all of them come equal. This is my observation. First semester of coding in my own institute, when I teach students how to code, the first course in programming, I see people with different heights of confidence on the first day. There'll be a very short person, no confidence at all, and a very tall and confident person. I mean, you cannot compare them with, mole and mountain difference, but with time, the person who is short grows up quickly. 16 weeks, there's some 2-3% difference between these two people. Right? Don't feel let down by people who are confident, who show that they can code well, write some complicated codes. None of those things are important. The skill that you should learn is, given a problem, can you write a piece of code that works? Works efficiently is the next step. Okay, that comes with practice. There are codes, for instance, how do you find a string in a big string? This is a very complicated code. It has taken people decades to come out with an answer for this. You cannot expect to, write a piece of code in a few days, right? But again, it needn't necessarily be short. It can be long, still effective. Okay, to summarize, don't break your head. Things are going well as long as you don't feel stressed when you're coding. This is a litmus test. So far, things are going good. Answer this question. Do you feel stressed when you code? You can feel ignorant. You can feel let down. You can feel sort of, I don't know, this feeling is always there, but you should not feel depressed. This is all part of the game when you code, okay? Till date, whenever I type, see, Python is all about using new library functions. Recently, I was trying to use a library function, head and tail of which I could not make out. It was actually stressful, but then I'm used to, feeling stressed. When you run, you will sweat. You should get used to it. You cannot say, oh, the running causes sweating, I'm not going to run. All right. So with this in mind, I'm going to teach you people an important skill set today, that is debugging. All right. Can someone write in the comment section how many of you have tried debugging, whatever that means to you? What does it mean by debugging? Bug, debug. Okay. Bunk, debunk. Right. Fragment, defragment. Addict, de-addict. Caffeine, decaffeine, right? So, it's an antonym of the word bug. The bug enters your code and you debug it. How do you debug it? With a keen eye to observe. Or you can use a nice toolkit to debug. Okay, so can someone tell me on the comment section if you have tried debugging something, a code that doesn't work well? Okay, let me spend a minute's time looking at your chat section. Debugging means finding errors, logical and semantic errors. Best tool is print statement, says Aditya. Yes, almost always. Debugging for me means to find the root cause of the error, right? You all have found errors in your code when you're typing, right? And you need to go ahead and then find out the place where the error is where error is present. I have to debug, OS not coming up, fixing bugs. Bugs are so common, debugging is a necessity. Something it has taken an entire day debugging. Sometimes it has, yeah, Sunita, that's true. It sometimes takes a long time, right? So there are two types of errors, right? One error is, instead of typing print, you type sprint, all right? And the compiler says, what is this? I mean, I don't know anything called sprint. In English there may be sprint, but in Python there's nothing called sprint. There's only print. You prefix a s and it throws up an error. That's very obvious. If Python also tells you there's nothing called sprint, you can see and change sprint to print by removing s. As simple as that. A silly mistake. This is called syntax errors, where Python itself tells you, it helps you to understand, look, dude, this is not how you code. You have made a mistake, typo, or you may not know, look up the syntax. But there's another kind of mistake called the semantic mistake. Sometimes we all do this, you don't go till the end of the list. Sometimes you go beyond the list and it throws up an error. But if you go beyond the list, it throws up an error, you realize it. If you don't go till the end of the list, it doesn't throw up the error, but still you're not seeing the entire list, if you know what I mean. And that's an error you cannot identify using Python. Your code will not return the right answer, and you will start wondering, where is the mistake? Okay, how will we debug in such a case? Every programming language, at least the latest ones, they come with a fantastic debugger. Okay, Python also has this facility called Pdb Python Debugger. In fact, there are some nice graphical user interface, graphical ways in which you can debug the code. But I'll show you the terminal way of debugging the code. Why? Because it's my favorite. I don't like graphic user interfaces. Although it's easy to do it the graphical user interface way, I'll teach you how to do it the command line way. All right. Okay. So before that, I would. So the motive of today's lecture is to understand some debugging principle and also understand that debugging is, the way of life, right? Okay. So before going ahead, so the motive of today's lecture is debugging. Keep that aside. Part B. Part A is a few tips which I told you. Marathon number 1. Number 2 tip is that I have been also observing on the forum, especially, not many of you come and interact there, which is again understandable, probably because you feel things that go hi-fi there, right? I tried encouraging beginners by giving some beginners code, intermediate people with intermediate code, and advanced people with advanced code. Okay, I want you all to understand that people who speak a lot of technicalities there are just a little ahead of you. As I keep saying, you should not feel discouraged there. Come, interact. If someone knows more than you, learn from them. Otherwise, sort of, please ignore geeks around. I mean, because I'm not blaming the geeks around. I'm encouraging you people to not worry about the geeks around. It can actually be intimidating when you see someone use something that you have no clue about, and you also start feeling that I will never reach there. He has used a complicated thing. This is this. I cannot make head and tail out of this. I can never reach there. It's like a person who knows Punjabi listening to a Malayali, right? I can never master this language. Not even a single word I can understand. Anyways, yeah. So I want you all to take up a few codes taught so far, and try to figure out if you can do it all by yourself. First such code is, of course, our matrix multiplication. Okay, I hope you all are now familiar with how to do it, without looking into the code, logically building it step by step. You will fall, you will stumble, you will crawl, but then finally you will get up and then walk. Okay, number one. Number two is simple linear search, simple sorting method. Okay, and then binary search. Can you do binary search all by yourself using recursion? Then you are through. You probably know more programming than anyone else. All right. Can you comfortably use for loop, while loop, and then declare variables and go through the list, display the list, find the sum of n elements in the list? You're through. That's all is required. Other extra facilities like slicing, etc., is just added comfort. An ordinary bus and a luxury bus takes you from point A to point B. Luxury bus is just, you have more cushion there. That's it. Right. So all this slicing, etc., is extra cushioning. And in fact, it helps you code quickly. But then all that it takes for you to code is to understand how to use for loops, while loops, and of course the if statement. Okay. Yeah. With this, let's go ahead. Let me just see if there's some special request from someone here in the comment section. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me now share the screen and go ahead with my code. Please acknowledge if you can see my screen. Item, one second. You obviously won't be able to see it now. Just a second. Okay, one moment.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Hi, this is Advi. I have a small suggestion or a request. So
Sure.
sometimes working professionals, I'm a working professional. So for us, it gets difficult for us to do all the practice programs in the week and then move on to the next week. So we save up the practice program for later and then just do the graded assignments. Sometimes, I'm sorry, but we do this. So
Okay.
what happens is that we want to do those practice assignments when we want to revise things, and the editor is not available. It just has the solution in the our portal. What happens is after the deadline passes, this editor that we have where we can actually run through test cases and then pass or fail. I understand that the test cases can be visible, but I feel it would be great if we can have the practice editor embedded still even after the deadline passes, so that we can do the practice assignments whenever we want.
Okay, Atul, do you want to address this question? So I must confess my ignorance. I am a very teacher here. Except for teaching Python, I really don't. And of course, moderating the assignments, exercise problems that are that reach you people. I'm not very familiar with the other aspects of it because it's the first run. Maybe in the second run I'll be familiar. So Atul, would you like to address that question?
So actually, portal is closed after the deadline. So we have already discussed with the Karthik, and Karthik will discuss with the portal team. So definitely it will be resolved.
Okay.
So.
All right. So also, Advi, I think Atul addressed the question. If you have more questions, please write to Atul directly. My sessions especially, I want to steer clear in the sense that there's a line that we'll be discussing only the technical aspects, especially the ones that I'm focusing on in the interest of time, nothing else. So please write to me in case you have any other problems, we'll resolve it. Because many of the things that we may discuss may not be of great interest to others, and my time is also limited. I come only once in a while. Okay. So anyway, that's a genuine concern. Atul, make a note of it and get back to them if the portal can be kept open beyond the time for the sake of practicing, especially for the working.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah, sure. I also please write to Advi and keep me in the CC once it's resolved. Right, Advi? In case it's not resolved, please write. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Right, so let's go ahead. I would like to now share my screen. Just a minute. Just a second. Request permission to share my screen. Okay, I will log out and log in a minute's time. Okay, Atul, please let me inside because I need to close and open Zoom for permissions to sort of happen. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, I'm also, I suppose, visible. Okay. Share screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Can you enable it, Atul?
Okay, sir, I'm telling to him.
Okay. Done. Not yet. Okay. Atul, I'm unable to share my screen.
Yeah, sir, I've sent the message. Just wait.
Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, let's not waste time. I have less time. In fact, I have this is going to be a short session for up to 4 p.m. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah, so some people are asking me about syllabus for Python. You see, I have the following motive. I would like to ensure that you people are comfortable writing code for a few questions. That's the motive. In fact, we are not covering the whole of Python. Python is an ocean. Okay, if we keep covering, there's some 10,000 commands. Doing all of it will not be required. So Abhilash Shankar is asking pandas. Yeah, pandas we are covering this week. Okay, basics of it. That should be enough. And some of you may even say, sir, teach us some deep learning ideas. Let's use TensorFlow and then let's train a deep net. If I'm sounding jargonic, please don't worry. I purposely did that. That's not the motive of the course. We will not be covering what you would like to learn. We would like to cover what we think is important for you to cruise ahead with confidence. Okay. Of course, there's no limit. It can go up to ad infinitum. We can go on and on teaching. So yeah, with time you will be able to. The point we are trying to make is you should be able to learn anything in Python all by your own. We're going to take you to that level. Okay. For example, there is this toolkit called NumPy, numerical Python. We will teach you the basics. There's something called matplotlib, how to plot. We'll teach you the basics, how to plot, let's say X axis and Y axis. So it's left to you to learn how to plot it in 3 dimensions. Okay, left for you to learn how to plot, let's say, complicated curve, right? So we'll not be getting into the extreme details. There's a reason for it. Firstly, of course, we have time crunch. Second, for a student who is supposed to know how to ride a bicycle, as I keep saying, you should not make him ride a unicycle, right? With only one wheel, the one they use in circus, right? So the motive of the course is only bicycle. We'll take you there, and after that, of course, we all are there for helping you guys. In fact, next semester you'll have what is called data structures, where more programming, more intricate details of programming will be taught. If I'm not wrong, Professor Madhavan Mukund will be handling that. Sir, how to read and interpret Python documentation? Yes. Boom. At least I always find this difficult. Python documentation is not easy. In fact, Googling and finding some blog of a person on Medium or any other Python blogs is easier than going through the built-in help file. It's not easy, but yeah, once you know what is what, then you can refer the documentation. It will make sense. It's not easy to go through the documentation. I understand that, but yeah, somewhere in the on the internet you will find a detailed description of what you're searching for, right? So especially on YouTube, you have almost everything, right? Okay. By the way, NumPy Matplotlib are also covered by Professor Andrew as part of Stats 2 course, but Srinivasan, Stats 2 course, not everybody is taking. Those who are taking, yeah, perfect. So that will help there, but not many of them are going to take statistics course also. I mean, there's some diploma students too who would like to take a different route and not take up data sciences, but take the applications route. Right, so one size doesn't fit all right now. So in fact, it's one size fits all. I cannot be bringing in things that are of interest to only a particular class of people. Like again, I repeat, this course is mainly meant for people who have not seen programming at all their life, and they want to gain confidence in programming. And I can assure you, more than 90% of you people who haven't coded at all in your life, by the end of 12th week, you will feel that confidence gushing into you, saying that now I can code. All right, that's our motive at least. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. I will try to show you something interesting to begin with. I'm sharing my screen. Share. I hope you all can see my screen now. Can you? Can someone tell me that you can see the screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, awesome. So on the left side of the screen, I will open a demo.py. Okay, this is my editor. On the right side of the screen, as in always, I'll open my IPython. Okay, I'll clear the screen here. All right, so one moment. I'd like to see if I can slightly. Okay. Keep it like this, just so that, can you see the screen? Only you're only seeing the terminal, right? Not the video on this side, right? Only the terminal. It's clear, right? Should I zoom in? Not required. It's all clear. Can you read this? Should I further zoom in?
No, sir.
Super. All right. So delete and I'll start. Look at this little piece of code I'm going to write. This is only for fun. The smallest piece of code, this is going to be the smallest code ever which the world is yet to understand. Okay, what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? I'll tell you. So let me type some numbers here. You see the number 10. All right, I'm using it like an editor right now. Okay, what you're seeing here is, one second. These are the line numbers, and these are the numbers I'm going to type. Right, clear? Okay. So just in case someone's typing something on the chat window, I may not be able to see it. So let me just keep it this side. Just a minute. Can you discuss about basic errors? Clear. Okay. So I will address that Sumishta Saha in some time. Okay. So 10 and then 5 and then 16 and then 8 and then 4 and then 2 and then 1. Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing a simple algorithm. Okay, this is even. Halve it means make half of it. Okay, this is odd. Okay, make it 3 times x plus 1. By that I mean, if it's 5, multiply it by 3 and add 1 to it. Okay, it becomes 5 into 3 plus 1, 16. Okay, even. Halve it. Okay, again, even have it even, reduce it by half. This is again even, have it. Okay, this is odd. One is odd, right? Odd. Make it become 3x plus 1, which means this becomes 1 into 3 plus 1 is what? 4. But then again, 4 is even, so it becomes 2, it becomes 1, and then again it becomes 4 and 2 and 1 and so on. Okay. So I need to write a code where the input, let's say if it's, I'll assume the input is 21. Okay. Let me remove these things. Okay. Input is 21. This is odd. So what should I do into 3x plus 1? 3x is 63 plus 1 is, let me not take 21 then. Let me take 18. Okay. 18 is even. So I reduce it by half. It becomes 9. 9 is odd. 3x plus 1. 9 3 is 27 plus 1 is 28. 28 is even. It becomes 14. 14 is even. This becomes 7. I request people to please not discuss what I'm doing right now if you know it already. Let this be, let there be some surprise factor here. 7 is odd, so it becomes 7 into 3 plus 1, 22. 22 is even, it becomes 11. 11 is odd, it becomes 3x plus 1, 34. Am I right? 11 into 3 is 33 plus 1 is 34. 34 by 2 is 17. 17 into 3 is what? 51. Am I right? 51 plus 1 is 52. 52 is even, so it becomes half. 26 is even, it becomes 13 is odd, it becomes 39 plus 1, 40 is even, it becomes 20 is even, it becomes 10 is even, becomes 5 is odd, it becomes 16, and then 16 is even, it becomes 8 is even, it becomes 4, 2, 1, and then again it repeats. 1 becomes 4, 2, 1, and so on. I'll stop here. Moment it becomes 1, you stop. Okay, this is the input number, and I want this to be displayed. Okay, how many of you are confident that you can do it? Raise your hand. This code. How many of you are confident that you can type this code? Okay, it is the smallest possible code in the whole of this Python sessions, across several sessions. Okay, so let us try writing the code for this. Okay, n is equal to something. Okay, what was that number? I started off, let's say 25. Let's start with 25. Okay, and then what should I do? While n is greater than 1, which means you stop the moment n becomes 1. If n is even, you know this, right? Modulo symbol stands for 10 mod. I'm writing on this side of the screen. 10 mod 2 is 0. 10 mod 3 is 1. 10 mod 7 is 3. It's the reminder you get when you divide by that number. So n mod 2, if it's 0, it means that it is even. Then I say n equals n by 2. Okay. It's always a good idea to, whenever you divide, ensure that you make it integer. It's not required because n is already even here, but still it's a good practice. If you can simply say else also, n mod 2 is equal to odd means n equals 3 times n plus 1. Okay, and then I print n. Okay, so a good idea would be to simply append that onto a list. Okay, and now I will try running this code. Okay, it doesn't stop because why doesn't it stop? Because while n is greater than 1, I keep doing this. N is always greater than 1, is it? Okay. Print n, I'll append n is greater than 1. It should stop. Why is it not stopping? N equals. Okay. Let me make it just 2. So, okay. So this is a good example for for me to debug. Okay. Yeah. So there's an error here as someone pointed out, but I would like to debug what the error is here. Okay. So let me now say import PDB and then PDB set trace. This is how you debug a piece of code. All right. Okay, so I don't know why it is entering infinite loop here. Okay, I actually know the reason, but I pretend to not know the reason. All right. So I will enter 1 minute. Okay. So what I'll do is I will keep what is called set trace here. Import PDB set trace. The moment you do this, and when you run the code, it will come here. And do you see the arrow mark here? Arrow mark n equals 2. It says now this got executed, your line number 7 got executed, and it PDB, and then it waits for you to go to the next level. So what happens now is when you press n, it will go to the next line. Okay, next line is L equals this. See, this is the next line. And then you press n, it goes to the next line. Okay, there is a way in which you can display the line number, that is n semicolon semicolon L. You see, the line number is also displayed, which means in this region of the code, your Python compiler is now standing. Okay, it is saying while n is greater than 1, it has entered inside because n was in fact greater than 1. Okay, so n semicolon semicolon L means it goes to the next line. Okay, n semicolon semicolon L, next line, and show the line number. Okay, n semicolon semicolon L. See, n is not the variable n here. N stands for go to the next line. L stands for display the line numbers. P n stands for print the variable value n. It will print the value. See, n is 1. I can also say print the variable value L. It will show me the list. Okay, so what I will do,
sir,
is start from the beginning. Yes.
The statements are at the bottom of the screen, so they are not visible. What you are typing in.
Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay, so let me make this 11. Okay, or maybe 10. Okay, so statements are at the bottom of the screen and it's not visible.
Debugger, sir.
Huh?
Sir, you have scrolled, right? So we are not able to see the bottom of the debugger.
Why? Because the window is still there, but it's okay. Let me just fix it. So what I've done is I've made it full screen. Can you people see it now? The last line. Can you see the last line?
Yes, sir. It is pretty clearly visible.
Super, super. So, all right. So let me clear the screen and start from the beginning. What I will do is I'll again execute this code, run demo. All right. Go to the next line. It's now in n equals 10. Go to the next line, print the lines, also print the variable n, and also print the list L. Okay. So now this is a different kind of a facility. It's like, how do I put it? You put this onto a test. So you see, you take your car to a mechanic and the mechanic opens your car and tries to, check your battery by putting some wires there and then keep a voltmeter or whatever, and then try to see whether your battery is working fine or not. Right. So I'm doing that here. This is like the all complicated wires of a mechanic trying to see how your code runs. It's so much fun. Just watch. L equals. It says name error, name L is not defined. Obviously, it is yet to come here. Okay, now it has come here. Arrow mark says it is near while. Okay, while n is greater than 1. So value of n was actually 10. Okay, 10 is of course greater than 1. It should go inside. It goes inside. If n mod 2 is equal to 0, n is 10 here, the list is empty here, 10 mod 2 is equal to 0, so it should enter there. It entered there. You see what I'm doing? Okay. Step by step, I'm seeing how your code is going. Now your code is going in complete slow motion. Okay, what you're doing is you're doing Sherlock Holmes by making the CCTV video go frame by frame, one frame at a time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. This gets executed. N became n by 2. Correct. N was in fact 10 and now n became 5. Wonderful. The list is empty because list is yet to be appended. Now it comes here. If n mod 2 is equal to 1, it's also 5. There's a mistake there. The code is not doing its job properly, right? N becomes 16 and 5 did not go to the list, right? So what I should do is I should come here, and instead of this, I said I will write if doesn't work, you should put else here. Okay. If this gets executed, this should not go in here. All right. If it goes in there, there was an error here. If you didn't realize, don't worry. I went frame by frame. You also go frame by frame. You will realize it. I'll exit this and back again, run the code. Okay. N : L : print N : print L. Okay. 8th line is executed. N equals 10 is probably done, which is displayed here. And then 10 and the empty list going inside. Of course, it should get inside this loop. It does get inside the loop and becomes 5 and became 5 here. Wonderful. And then it skipped the else because it got executed. Okay. And then it comes here and prints N. It did print N. Okay. And L append N, you see what happens? Boom. The list got appended by 5. Right. And I continue doing it. It goes back to the while loop. Look at where the arrow is. While loop, correct? And then goes ahead. Again, if it skipped because 5 mod 2 was not 0, it comes to else, gets into L. You see the arrow here. Am I clear, all of you? Is it clear what's happening here? Right, this part, correct? Okay, so it's here right now. It's here right now. Arrow mark, it's here right now, and goes to the next level, let's say, and then prints the value. Print 16 and append 16 to it. You see the list now has 5 and 16. Very good. I keep doing it, comes, and then for 8, it appends 8. 5, 16, 8, and then goes ahead, and then becomes 4, and then continues. I don't have to break my head, it's going good. So I will not see frame by frame of my video file. Okay, and then 4, 2, and then append, 1 got appended. Now it should stop. According to my logic, but is it stopping? It's going somewhere. It's going inside some program. Okay, so it's entering an infinite loop. The reason is because this was the place where the problem started. The moment it became 1, it should have stopped. It didn't stop. That's because there's an error here. When n is greater than 1, you do it. When n equals 1, you come out of it. Okay. Did n become 1 here? Let me check. Okay. When did n become 1 here? 5, 16, 8, 4, 2, L append 1, and what was n? N is 1 here. While n is greater than 1, n is not greater than, it should come out here, right? Why is it entering somewhere? This is a place where it is, going somewhere, right? So what's going wrong here? Did anyone observe? Okay, so here n became 1, L append n, and what is the error here? So someone is suggesting put n is not equal to 1. That should also work. N greater than 1 should also work. I don't know why it's not working, but let us see here. At least we got to know where exactly the mistake was, right? Print n, print L. Okay, so again, doing this can be cumbersome. I'll tell you a way in which you can fast forward it, sometimes even rewind it. Okay, 8, 4, 2, 1. Still it's entering. Still it's entering.
You can do it like line 17, you can add as unindented.
No, but what is...
Add one more line as unindented because you are not terminating, like it needs the next line as unintended to terminate.
Is it so? The program is now over. Let me try your method. Okay. Run demo. Oh, what is this? I never knew this. So if you don't end the while loop with an extra line, this error comes, is it?
Actually, what is happening now, like often we print means actually proper termination needs that next line is unindented. What happened is while you indented and now come back that unindented portion of the thing where while started.
Oh, that is strange. Never knew. So what if I remove this? Even then it will work, right? You should just leave probably a line gap. Cha. So I've never made this mistake in my life. So I probably don't know it. Okay. Oh, still it's working now. There's no line that I have left. Still working. How is that? Anyways, there was some error. I fixed it. So sometimes you fix the errors, you may not know how it got fixed. Okay, so let's take a look. Who was that? Aditya Kumar. You gave some theory, right? That the line is you should leave a line empty.
It like proper means what I want to say is it will work even if that thing, but like initially it might not work because proper indentation should get terminated. If you are getting inside an intent, you should come out of that intent.
No, I am out of indent. Now I am not out of indent, right? So you look at the 16th line. I didn't mean to confuse this. Like I'll just take 1 minute's time with Aditya and then move ahead. I have not come out of the indented line. It is 60 and 16 only. This should not work according to what you said. But it's working. Right? There should be some other reason why it did not work initially, but it's okay. Never mind. So let me not confuse others. Aditya, maybe we'll sit together and see how it did not work. I'll write the code once again and then see. Maybe it could be something to do with my Vim editor or maybe some new character there in the compiler. I don't know. So let's now try to write. Okay. So let me go to the first line of this code. All right. What is for the world to understand about this code? The world doesn't know how. Let's say if you put 11 here and then run it. Okay. 11 becomes 34, 17, 52. It terminates here. Okay. Let me put a counter here. Okay. Count equals 0. And then count equals count plus 1. And then print count. Okay. And then run this. All right. It has taken, what I will now do is it has taken steps. Okay, I will run demo. Okay, it has taken 14 steps for n equals 11. Okay, I can in fact use that as a parameter itself, but I will not do it. For n equals, let's say 64. Okay. What was the steps for 11? 14 steps it took. Okay. For n equals 64, it takes 6 steps. For 11, it took 14 steps. For 64, it takes 6 steps. And let me try it for 65. For 65, it takes 27 steps. Right? What is it for 66? In fact, you can put it in a while loop and then run it. 66, it takes 27 steps. All right. Now this is strange. So if I were to, let me now try to do something. For I in
Can you explain why it always comes to 1? Like, how can you guarantee that it always comes to 1?
If you can tell me why it comes to 1, we both will be billionaires in no time, because even the world doesn't know why it comes to 1. Why does it loop only in 1? It may loop in some other number too. Okay.
So, sir, once you get to a 2 to the power of n, it will come to 1 eventually.
Exactly. But what is the guarantee that you will ever hit 2 to the power of n? We're talking Greek, so let's not get there. 2 to the power of n becomes 2 to the power of n minus 1 becomes 2 to the power of n minus 2, and slowly it becomes 1, and you don't hit any odd number in between. But there's no guarantee that you'll always hit power of 2. In fact, I can give you examples where you never hit power of 2 except for 2 to the power of 1. All right, anyways, so let's try it for the first 100 numbers. Let me put this entire while loop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elements indented, and then it has taken steps. I should then put count equals 0 here once and remove this here. Every time this happens, this 2 things should come here. I hope this should work. Let's see. What I will also do is I will not display my n. Okay, appending L is also not required. I hope you all followed what I'm doing here. If not, don't worry. I'm just trying to do it for what mistake they make. Print count equal, every time count becomes 0, and then count becomes count plus 1. I should, okay, I, it's not n, it's I, right? While I is not equal to, okay, instead I will, what I'll do is I'll change I to n. Okay. As I said, you should not get depressed when errors appear. Although it can be frustrating when 100 people are watching you and you make mistakes, which I'm undergoing right now. It has entered an infinite loop now. I don't know what has gone wrong where. So for n in range 100, don't tell me what the mistake is. If I have made a mistake here, I'll debug it. The whole section is about debugging. So count equals 0, while n is not equal to 1, n mod 2 is 0, n equals int of n by 2, else n equals, so I'm starting from 0. Oh. So range, I'll start from, let's say 5. Okay. For the first few numbers, I know what happens. Exit. I'm sorry. Okay. It has taken steps, etc., etc. So we'll make it easy on your minds. Let me just say n comma count. I'll remove this. Okay. What will this do? It will simply give you all the numbers. N becomes 0, no? So what should I do? Temp equals n, print temp. If you're wondering what I'm doing, don't worry. I'm fast coding it just so that we get the right answer. Okay, so for all the numbers, you see, it's haphazard. Okay. Sir, what are you doing? You're confusing us. Import time. Let me give a second's time. Let me sleep for 1 second here, just so that you see what is happening. Okay, very slowly, 1 second per 100 seconds. We must wait. For 5, it is 5 steps, 6, it is 8 steps, 7, it is 16 steps, 8, it is 3 steps, a power of 2. You see, 8 becomes 4, becomes 2, becomes 1, and then it stops there. 9, it is 19, 10, it is 6, 11, it is 14, 12, it is 9. I mean, it is nice music. 13, 9, 14, 17, 15, 17, 16, 4, 17, 12. You know, it's very haphazard, it's very random, right? We do not know for a given number n, when will your program stop? As Aditya's question went, we don't even know if there are some numbers for which it will never stop. You said if it hits the power of 2, then it will stop. I mean, others, don't worry. The code is very simple. It's a very, very small code. If the number is odd, shoot it up by 3n plus 1. The number is even, reduce it by half. See how many steps it takes for it to dwell down to 1. This number of steps we do not know. Okay, how many? Okay, this is famously called, let me type it. This is famously known as the 3n plus 1 problem, or the Collapse Conjecture. A very interesting piece of idea in computer science. Especially, I want to introduce this to people where logic alone is not important. What is happening behind this program? You know, Paul Erdos, one of the greatest mathematicians of our time, said, math is not so well advanced that we can understand such things. Right? I mean, so it goes on and on. It doesn't stop. As you can see, everything stops. Meaning, I mean, as n increases, you see that up to 1 to 100 it stops, but at random number of steps. You see 84 took 9 steps, 83 takes 110 steps. I mean, how is it even possible? Yeah, it comes back, it goes up, it comes back, 83 becomes very big, 249, 250, 250 becomes 125, 125 becomes 376, and then what is half of it? I cannot do that kind of math. So anyway, I'll stop there. So the idea is it takes so many steps. 73 takes 115 steps, and then 80 takes only 9 steps, right? Anyways, so I wanted you all to stay motivated by understanding that a simple code like this, nobody understands. Right, there's no, what is this time sleeps? Meena asks. Meena, time sleep is it will wait for 1 second, okay, before executing. At this point, it comes and stops for 1 second. Anyway, I did not teach you people Python using this code. Don't worry, I would have even put it a little fast. What is temp here, etc., etc. Probably you can make it short later on. The idea is simple. The number is even, you have it. The number is odd, you shoot it up by 3 and plus 1, you count the number of steps. Okay, this is an unsolved problem. Nobody knows why the numbers here are seemingly very random. Okay, in fact, given n, can you tell what the number is? Nobody knows. As Aditya said, if you know that all numbers stop, you have solved a world famous problem. If you know for what n, how many steps it takes, you have solved a world famous problem. You can probably bid by to your BSc IIT Madras degree, and you will be getting all possible prizes in sciences if you can solve this problem. Anyways, try solving it. You never know, you might solve it. Okay, so with this, let me go ahead with another question. I'm used to not saving any files. I'll just delete them and then write a new code because it's not required. You can always code, especially if the code is very small. All right, so let me go ahead and do a small mistake and then figure out if I can debug it. Okay, I will clear. Always I am used to resetting all the values. Okay, here's a small program. What I will do is L equals an empty set. Okay, import random. For I in range 10, L append random, let's say rand int 0, 100. Or maybe 30. Okay, a number between 0 and 30, I pick a number uniformly at random, okay, and append it to L. All right, okay, perfect, and then I'll print L. All right, let me run this code now. Good. So as you can see, it displays those numbers. What I will also do is, for clarity's sake, I will try to sort it and then print it. Okay, it is also sorted. Okay, good. So you see 0, 5, 11. It will be different numbers every time you execute it because random numbers from 0 to 30 are picked. What I want to do is find the sum of these numbers. Okay, so maybe it might help if I just copy this and just so that it's easy for you people, and paste it and call this L. L equals so much. I'll remove all this little circus that I'm doing. Okay, so L simply equals these numbers, and I want to find the sum of these numbers. Okay, find the sum of all the elements in L. So you people are wondering, sir, why are you rewinding back to week 2? There's a reason. I just want to introduce the Python debugger to you people. So I'll make a conscious mistake here. For I in range len of L minus 1, okay, I'll initialize sum to 0, and I'll say sum equals sum plus L of I. Okay, finally print sum. All right, so this should print the sum of all these values. What is the sum of all these values? Let me type it here. 0 plus 5 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 12 plus 21 plus 22 plus 25 plus 29. 147. Let me see whether this displays 147. How many of you think it won't? Just don't point out the mistake, please. I know I made a mistake there. Okay, so tell me if you see what happened to my chat window. Okay, so It won't display the right answer, says our friend. It won't. There is a mistake. How many of you have realized there is a mistake? Raise your hand. Let me see the number of people raising their hands. Good number of them are raising their hands. You have identified what the mistake is. So let me go ahead and try to figure out what the mistake is. I'm confident my program should display 147. Okay. Boom. It displays 118. Okay. So let me remove. Don't point out what's the mistake. Let me remove the print statement. Run demo. It's showing 118 while the sum of these numbers is 147. What is going wrong here? Don't answer. Okay. Let me figure out by debugging. I repeat, import pdb set trace. Moment you put that, it set trace means stop. All of you, please stop. The world stops. You go frame by frame, right? So let's go frame by frame. I want to see a chat window just to see what you guys are saying about what's happening. All right. So can you people try doing this all by yourself? I know some of you have identified the mistake. I mean, through your brain, you have debugged in your brain, but let's debug it formally. Okay. PDB, next line, show me the line number, print the values of sum, also print the value of I print the values of sum. In fact, you can say I comma sum. Do it like this. Okay, so I is still not, sum is 0, sum is 0, name I is not defined, obviously. I have not come there. Now, I is 0, sum is 0, correct? At this stage. Next. I is 1, sum is 0. Now, sum becomes 5, which is 0 plus 5. Very good. I is 2, sum is 11 plus 5 is 16. Okay, very good. I is 3 and it's going on well. Correct. It's adding up. I equals 5, I equals 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I equals 6 means it's in 21. It is showing it should add these things up. Okay. Okay, good. 771. I equals 893. I equals 8118. I equals 8. After that, it's not going anywhere. I equals 8. What is I equals 8? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is not going to I equals 9, you see. Correct? It is not going to I equals 9. Let me observe that once again. Okay? It's not going to I equals 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's stopping. It's not going ahead. You see? So it is not going to I equals 9 while the length of the list is from 0 to, you see how many elements are there? Let me count it manually. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0 to 9, 10 elements are there. It is not going to the last one at all. Why? Because you're saying range of len of L minus 1. You must go from 0 to len of L minus 1. But range, you see, let me come here and then say list of range of 10. What is this? From 0 to 9. List of range of 10 minus 1 is from 0 to 8. Okay, I made a mistake here. I do not know how this range works. Okay, now when I run this, this should go till the end and should show me the answer, which is 147. Right? I was slightly fast at the end. I hope you all understood. All right. If you have any
Excuse me, Professor.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just have a quick question. Is it possible to print L of I, or for that matter sum plus L of I, using the commands like similar to what you have done with I and the variable sum?
In the PDB terminal, you can do any computation. Okay. It's just like another IPython terminal. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. Okay,
awesome. So there are many other things that you can do also. I'll quickly show you. You see, I was going step by step here, right? Step by step here. At some, if you want, see, type H and you'll get the help file. There are so many things that let me zoom this. So many things you can do. You see commands, EOF, A, alias, args, B, break, BT. You can put a break. You need not go through frame by frame. You can quickly come to some part of your loop. You can put a break. If you put a break and put the line number, it comes there and then stops. I will not get into the details because it will confuse you people. Just understand that PDB helps you go frame by frame in a video file. When you are, doing surveillance, want to understand whether a thief came inside your house and did something, you go frame by frame. You also go frame by frame here. All these functions, if you master, that is shown here for debugging, you will not face any problem in your code. Even if there is any bug, you will find it out very quickly. I have never encountered, I have written lines and lines of code in my life. I have never encountered a situation I did not understand where the bug is. Point number 1, use functions, modular approach to programming. Point number 2, use debugger extensively. I just gave a glimpse of what the debugger is. In fact, if you learn all these things, you will be a power programmer. All right. So any questions about what I discussed? Can you use it on Portal? Of course, you should be able to use it on Portal. It comes with Python. Pdb is not an extra function that you should install. It is there by default. Can someone try it on the Portal and confirm and tell me that it actually works? Can someone confirm and tell me that it actually works? Anyways, so anyone with any questions about what we did so far? NLP, some sir, please repeat this. Okay, so for people who did not follow what I did with debugger, don't break your head. Try to learn what is PDB. Okay, try Googling for it, try understanding it. Okay, try writing a small code and then put a PDB set trace and then try to see line by line what is happening. N stands for go to the next line. L stands for display the line numbers. P stands for print the value of a variable. So N here, whatever Shekhar Arun is asking me, N stands for show me the line number. L stands for N stands for go to the next line. L stands for show me the line number. And then PL stands for print the list L. P sum stands for print the variable sum. Okay, this will be shown. Okay, the regions of interest basically in your video equivalent. But this debugging process is very time consuming. Jashwant, we cannot. I'm not, don't mistake me. I'm not laughing at the statement made by you, but you're actually right. Debugging takes time. Everything in life takes time. You see, watching the entire video file of 12 hours of CCTV video takes time. Okay, Python can only do so much in identifying errors. Sometimes you may have to go through it line by line and then figure it out. But there is one thing. What you can do is who was that? Jaswant. There are ways in which you can quickly execute some parts of the code and directly jump to a line. Okay. So for instance, in PDB, if you use what is called T break, I don't want to show all those things. It'll complicate your little understanding of what is PDB. You'll never use PDB again in your life. So I want to show you the bare minimum. Right? There's something called T break statement. T break, and then you put the line number. It'll come to that line number and then pause for me. It's like saying, oh, video file. I want to see whether a thief entered after 12 o'clock. Boom, you fast forward to 12 o'clock and then start seeing the video from there. It's like that. Putting a T break statement. Putting a break statement is like every time you come to that line, it stops and waits for you to, tell it what to do next. Okay. All right. So many questions here. Sir, maybe also have a session on how to write code efficiently. Ritik, there is no such thing as writing code efficiently. Trust me. I mean, it comes with practice. Writing code efficiently for me is writing a code that you can understand. Number one. Number two is writing a code that runs really fast, because you saw the binary search example I gave you. Okay, the code itself is very intelligent. It is crafted in a way that it runs very efficiently, irrespective of on what computer you're using it. It runs really, really fast. That's again talent. There's a lot of math and physics that goes behind coding. It's not just simply writing a piece of code. Like for instance, you will observe in data structures especially that without understanding the science of computing, it is plain impossible for a super duper programmer to simply write an efficient code. Efficiency is all at the level of algorithmic approach that you're taking. Okay, so I don't think, Ritik, it's possible to teach how to write code efficiently. In my humble opinion, you although can write optimal code, I mean code that is optimized, it functions at its best. But efficiency discussion it has taken years together for people to figure out how to find an answer to a simple question. I'll give you one such question right now. once I finish the answering all the questions. Remind me, I should tell you a question which is about efficiency. Okay, something that has to do with the ongoing COVID crisis. Okay, can we use debug in recursion? Absolutely, yes. You can use debug in recursion, but you must be very careful. There's something called stepping into option in debugging. It's called S. When you put S, it steps into the code. It enters the function. Otherwise, it doesn't enter the function. It just touches the function. It just touches the function and displays its value. If you want to get into the function, you use the S command. S for Sudarshan. S. Step into. You step into the function. You see what's happening inside. Understand. Go slowly and then come out. Professor, what is the general syntax in PDB frame by frame debugging? General syntax is basically N semicolon semicolon L. It stands for go to the next line, show me the line number, please. Okay. Shekhar, Dinesh, can we use debug to yeah, yes, you can. Ritik sir, maybe also a session on how to write code efficiently. I think I addressed that. Any more questions, please? How did you people find debugging a session? If it went over the head, don't worry. The very possibility I showed you, that should be enough. Learn PDB in your lifetime, preferably during this course time. Okay, you will not feel depressed because your code is not working. You can always debug. It takes time. It has a steep learning curve. It doesn't come quickly. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Is there a command to clear the screen in Replit directly from the code? Yeah, there is. There is. You do what is called import OS. Okay, and then os dot system colon. So I think Replit works like Linux only. Clear command there should work. os.system within brackets clear. Others who did not understand the question or answer, don't break your head. If you did not figure out Apple, please write to me. I will help you out. CLS is for Aditya. That's for operating system Windows. It doesn't work on Linux-based systems. I think Replit is Linux-based. I'm not sure. Aditya, if you have worked on it, if you are sure, then probably CLS is the right answer. I don't know. Sir, can a PPT of debugging could be shared? Meena, there are so many slides out there, videos out there, documentation out there, which talks about cheat sheets for PDB. Okay, you should go ahead and then find it. It just takes a few minutes time. Also, a good suggestion is some of you get together of equal level, people of equal level, and try to use debugger. Okay, try to use PDB. Also, the debugger available in Spider is even more beautiful. It puts a window and you can put variables there and then watch the variables as the program is going further. It's in the top center part of your Spider terminal. Okay, take a look at it. Again, there are videos on it. Watch it, learn it. Somehow learn how to debug. This is one skill that is very important. Trust me. Okay, it's like changing the stepney of your car. When you're driving, you have to know it, especially if you're a long distance driver, you should know how to fix your flat tires, right? So debugging is equivalent to that. I checked PDB in the portal. I guess it works, but it isn't useful there as we don't have an output window. The output shows up after pressing. That's right. Prithodeep, that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
I faced the same thing too, sir, because we are not able to input runtime inputs. We are not able to step to the next line.
Correct, Tanuj. So Tanuj, right? So the point is, yes, sir. Debugging is not required there. Run the same code here and then debug it. Once the code is perfect, and then you upload it, and then
definitely, sir.
It doesn't matter. PDB is not required there actually. Just because if people asked me, I asked you to check, but it's not required. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Says Apul. Does it mean I should leave now? I think thank you because I addressed your question. Okay, I got it. Shekhar, Arun, sir, but sometimes that doesn't work. It does not clear screen. Don't worry, Shekhar. Clearing screen is not important. Okay, there are ways in which you can control your entire screen. All right, one such way is called cursors. Import cursors. Okay, take a look at it. You will know that's the easiest way to do it. And also there's something called tkinter. Python import tkinter. If you do, just go ahead and see tkinter. Okay, you will know how to create windows and then control your screen and things like that. That's at least how I have learned to do it. But don't worry, clearing screen is not important. If it's not happening, you need not break your head. Nowhere will we ask a question about clearing the screen. BDB in the portal throws up some complex output. I didn't understand myself. Others can give a try, says Pritodeep. BDB in the portal, yeah, we addressed it. It's not required. Sir, in the collapse problem, which was GRAP, I am able to execute. What is this? It's calling up. I'm able to execute in my idle, but it's not working in online terminal. Would that happen? Deepak, try, preferably don't use online terminals for your practice sessions. Okay, try doing it on your desktop itself. Laptop itself. In any case, I always want to copy paste code into the portal, never use it to rank. The biggest curses is the biggest curse. Yes, Srinivasan, that's right. That's the easiest way to learn how to control your screen. At least I'm very comfortable with curses, so I use it extensively. Sir, please make a lecture video for all types of errors such as EOL. No, there is no all types of errors. All of you, please understand, there is no powerful way of finding out what is going wrong with your Python code. This is called the halting problem in computer science. Make a note of it, Google for it. Halting problem is there are some problems in computer science which cannot be solved. Okay, I'll give a small illustration. With a nice example, if time permits today or some other time. Not all errors can be figured out also. All right, but there are some standard errors that you will get in Python. Read that up, whatever is displayed there, frequently occurring errors, and Google for it. You will get to know what is what. Most of the times, the errors that are displayed are self-explanatory. It says index out of range. You know very well what it's saying. Okay. Sometimes you don't declare a variable, but then use it. It will say undeclared variable used. All right, so on and so forth. Most of it is self-explanatory. Having a session on these little things, I think, is not. It's not respect for your level. You see, you guys are really smart. You can figure it out all by yourself. But still, if you think you're facing problems with error messages, please write to us. We will help you out. But then know something. If you're facing problem with errors, it is clearly an indication of the fact that you're not coding a lot. If you code a lot, you will know error messages very well. Error messages become your friends. Right, you know how to handle whom, you know their behavior. So how do we pick on edge cases useful for private cases? What is an edge case? Sir, please make a lecture video for all type of video. I address that. What is edge case, Srishti Swaroop? Okay, now maybe we can make you people unmute and then talk to me. I'm finding it difficult to read from the screen. But please note, ask only questions that are relevant to all of you. Preferably, don't ask a very specialized question on, sir, how to find out the running time of a command using whatever import time function, use time.time. Is there some other way of doing it? What is it? All those things are not relevant for all of you. So avoid asking questions that are not of direct interest to everyone. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, sometimes while coding for private cases, sometimes some private cases don't work. So it's difficult to figure out what's going wrong. So that's what I meant by edge cases.
Srishti, I must confess my little ignorance here. I'm sorry to state this. I have not seen your portal on how you people. So basically, this is we handle 8,000 students, right? There's proper division of labor. I teach. I only teach. I record my lectures and send it, and they edit it, and then they put it, and assignments and other graded assignments, practice questions, we frame, I moderate, I see, and then give. Beyond that, I haven't myself the portal there. So the best people to talk to is, of course, our instructors. Okay, Atul, maybe you can help Srishti with the problem. Okay. I don't even understand what the edge cases are, but it's okay. Atul is the expert. He will address it. Okay. Pranjal, sir, it would have been great if we were given some projects associated with the lectures in place of some GRPA so that a research analytical skill. Okay. Pranjal Chowdhury, I need to address this point. So especially with a course like this, like Python, we have people from varied backgrounds. Some, as I keep saying, who are very good. Some who are beginners who don't even know how to type with their 2 fingers, right? So with that in mind, if you just do the programming that we are giving you, that should be more than enough. Okay. What you can do is don't worry about projects, worry about implementing some of the algorithms. Okay. I'll give you one such maybe challenge question today. When you're given a big string, okay. So let me just write that here for your, this is a good challenge that you can, S equals, you're able to see, right? S equals some random string. A random string. How many of you observed in the random string there is also Sudarshan? right? You observed. Pritodeep and Rishabh, please put your hands down. It's confusing to me whether you have a question, or if you have a question, then chat message may say, and I will allow you. I have a feeling that you have raised your hand and you have not put it down. It's confusing. Anyways, so can you identify Sudarshan here? Okay. An easy way to do it is simply say Sudarshan in S. It says true. Okay. But if you say IIT in S, it says false. Right? This is the in function that that Python provides. Can you try writing a code for this? Super duper project. Trust me, this again is a problem that is not very easy to solve. For example, you know what's a genetic sequence, right? Today, the genome sequence of the virus or any bacteria for that matter, or any organism living, or virus is not a living organism, but still it has its DNA sequence, right? ATGC, exactly. So the sequence of ATGC, by looking at that sequence, if a particular subsequence appears there, okay, I take your genome sequence, a particular subsequence appears there, maybe you're predisposed to diabetes, or you're predisposed to blood pressure, or you're predisposed to, get infected with COVID. Some people may not get infected if they have the right sequence somewhere. So the entire sequence will be displayed, right? You must find out which is there as diabetic gene subsequence there in sequence. This is going to be very difficult. Okay, I'm reading the questions here. Anyways, let me finish this and then read the questions. There is a method called Knuth-Morris-Pratt string matching algorithm. Trust me, it's just a half a page algorithm. It will take at least one full day for you to understand it. Okay, I would say before you start running a marathon, you should run a half marathon. Right, going by the same example. So please try to understand some of these algorithms. Try to figure out how they work, the internals of it. That should be enough for your level to begin with. After you finish your BSc, or maybe at the fag end of your BSc, you can think of doing a big project and things like that. But at this stage, I would say, moment you finish learning a programming language, you must try taking up some quick challenges and then execute them. Okay. Trust me, projects are actually not very difficult if a bunch of people get together and then do it. There's a difficulty, it's a difficulty for all of you. If it's easy for all of you. But then understanding a deep idea that has taken 30 years for it to evolve, and you understanding it and doing it is a joy in itself. I think you must be seeing that joy and not break your head much about projects. I must particularly state this because I get a lot of requests saying, sir, I want to do a mega project. Okay, it's like saying, sir, I don't want to, trek for 2-3 kilometers. I want to trek for 1,000 kilometers. So first try 2, 3, 4, and inductively, as you say, recursively, you go ahead to, excellence. All right. So how to identify some private cases which are code files? As I said, instructor will solve that problem. My friends, I do not know about the private cases, public cases, etc. of your portal. Now, as Q&A session is going on, could you please let us know if anything left for today's session which you want to share? Rajan Kumar, I think you're in a hurry. So if you want to leave, you can leave. Basically, whatever I want to teach is done. I will mostly teach Q&A session only, nothing much. A simple tool, automate some of repetitive stuff that you do every day, says Srinivasan, using Python. Wonderful suggestion, Srinivasan. Try doing things that you do in day-to-day life. For instance, how much should you save every month so that you can retire happily, right? So that it's inflation adjusted. This is not an easy problem to do. Okay, even in Excel, you will struggle. I repeat, assume you want to retire at 60. Okay, you have so many years left. Assume you are now 25. You have 35 years left. How much should you save so that you can live happily with whatever lifestyle you want to have? Okay, is a very good question to, and I have retired early, Srinivasan, wonderful. Maybe we can ask Srinivasan how he computed, how he could retire early. You are also a financial advisor. Okay, I'll talk to you later. All of you, please see to it that you speak to Srinivasan if you want to retire early. Anyways, that's a interesting thing that you have stated, and also very nice to see that early retired person is taking up the course. Hats off to your interest to learn. Okay, so any more questions? You can unmute and then ask me. Few tips for Python exams. I am not an exam person. I also feel that Python-like programming course should not have exams. So don't tell me, sir, please cancel the exams. I'm not going to do that. So exam is sort of a forced up thing that we have to do, right? We will be doing it. But trust me, the max you should get out of this course is your confidence level should go up to write code. I don't think the exams will be difficult. I'll assure you that it will not be difficult from my side. Don't tell anyone, okay? It's a live session recorded, but I'll ensure that, in fact, it's actually, we should not sort of pull down your confidence by giving a very tough question paper. I'm not in for it. Toughness will come ahead in your BSc course. First course in programming, in my humble opinion, should not be tough. I only want to test whether you have confidence in programming. Of course, I will not ask this question, are you confident in programming? Yes or no? We'll ensure that we ask questions where we get proof that you have confidence in programming. But trust me, from my side, I will not try to ask a twisted question or fold your nose by twisting your hand kind of questions. I'll not ask. All right. Any other request, question, tips to me for the remaining weeks? Are the lectures going good? Sir, please take this kind of session every week, says Abhishek. I'll read between the lines and also tell us that exam will not be difficult. Okay, Abhishek felt very good when I said exams will not be difficult. So he says, please take this kind of session every week. Anyway, I'm pulling your leg, Abhishek. I understand that you would like to talk to the teacher often and connect with the teacher. Yes, we could do it. Trust me, it has been a little hectic for, in fact, all of us. We are recording the lectures at the same time running the course. I hope this will not be the case from next run onwards, where lectures will be recorded in advance and we can just run the course. Then I can actively participate on the forums, have more such live sessions, interact with you people, talk to you people, sort of mingle with you people, right? I think that's very important to connect with your teacher as a student and also vice versa, right? I had this experience in my life. The teacher I connected well in my life, I understood the subject better, irrespective of how the teacher was, good or bad, right? There's nothing called the bad teacher. But then I said, I mean, a very eloquent teacher, a very, very outstanding teacher. Even if you don't connect, you will do well. But a teacher that's sort of struggling to teach, if you connect with that person, you understand the lessons better. Some of the, I don't know, some magic works there. If you know the teacher, if you have respect for the teacher, vice versa, teacher with the students, things go on really well. Anyways, I'll try my level best to stay in touch with you people in one form or the other, but may not be during the 12 weeks because we are stretched with time, also stressed. So what we can do is after 12 weeks, me and Karthik and some of the instructors, we plan to make you people do a little more coding. Okay, there it's free format, right? You should gain confidence in coding that we can really execute after your 12 weeks, right? You also don't have this stressful 4 courses I'm taking, sir. I have to finish them. I'm also working parallelly. I understand you people are either doing this course alongside another program, you're doing your BE or BCom or whatever, or you're working professionals and you're doing this course. Okay, it's not going to be easy. So let's plan something after the 12th week and let us see if I can help people personally to help you develop confidence in coding. And maybe there is something called great ideas in computing, which I would like to teach you people. Okay, there's some 20 very cool ideas which we have compiled. I'll teach you people that these 20 ideas will cover almost all branches of computing, in my opinion. Okay, picking 2 questions from operating systems, 2 questions from databases, 3-4 questions from machine learning, some from big data. We have compiled these 20 questions independently taught. Okay, you don't need any prerequisites, but you'll see a glimpse of all the subjects and you'll be able to appreciate computer science better. 17 new messages as I'm lecturing. Lectures are great. Thank you. Asyntax of string operations are a bit confusing to remember. Don't worry, Alankrita, you need not remember anything. Right? You always have the help file. Correct? Coding requires high IQ anyways. Dave, no, not at all. I need to work on my, no, not at all, not at all. With all due respect, Dave, I should disagree there. That coding does not involve any IQ. It's a repetitive process. I mean, it's a laborious process. It's manual labor, I must say, where you might find hiccups in, to begin with, but with time, around 1 or 2 months, once you master variables for a while, if that's it, you don't have much. Okay, modular approach to programming, writing functions, and look up whenever you face problems. Look up online. If you gain this talent, that's it. I mean, it's not as difficult as, let's say, taking up a statistics course. Statistics, I would say, is difficult. It's a notion, but learning to code in any language is not very difficult. Lectures are really good, and we like to see the reaction of the programmer in all the week's lectures ahead. Okay, you want me to keep the video on? So let's see, I'll get a haircut and then keep my video. I'm just kidding. The reason why I don't keep my video on is sometimes it can be distracting when I'm coding. The region of interest should be the code and not the video switched on. Also, my major reason is my computer, I use Camtasia. There is some problem when I switch on the video and then code for a long time. If it goes beyond 20 minutes, sometimes it gets hung and I may have to redo the coding. With that fear, I keep it really lightweight. Okay, but let's see if we can keep the video on. Professors Desk series is a great help, says Pitodev. Thanks for that. I hope they keep coming. Definitely, Pitodev, I'll do that. I'll start doing it maybe from tomorrow. I did not have time. I did not even get back and then see the reactions of people there. I also would like to give chocolates to people who answer the Professor's Desk question, ensuring that the same person doesn't get 2 chocolates, which means all of you will get chocolate if you keep trying attempting questions on Professor's Desk. I repeat, please look at the Professor's Desk tagged questions on the portal discourse. Okay, try answering them. I would like to give out some 200 chocolates to 200 different people. Okay, which means aapka number bhi aayega. You should just be actively participating there, right? Yes, a teacher can make or hate the subject. Yes, Tejashri, you're right. Aisha Mishra says, sir, how to develop logic? Sometimes it becomes difficult to put logic for a question. It's a matter of time, that's all. Best example is the running example. 42.2 kilometers full marathon sounds like impossible in a lifetime, but 16 weeks of practice, they say, is enough to run it in 4.5 hours. So first day you will run only half a kilometer. That's how we started today's session, right? So it's all a matter of time. You will definitely get it. One fine moment, boom, you will say, I know it, right? It will be trivial. I mean, programming is like as simple as writing something, writing a small essay, or writing a letter to your dear friend. It's as, even their logic is important. Right? It's not that without logic you write a letter. So this is also like writing a letter to your compiler and making it do what it's supposed to do. That's it. Okay, see it that way and it should be easy. Okay. You are a good teacher. Good. Thank you very much, Jashwant. I don't think I'm a best teacher because there are many good teachers from whom I have copy pasted all the skill sets, and that's what makes me modest teacher. If I'm able to do well, I'll be very happy to know that you are benefiting from my lectures. So, and also there's a very good saying which says you only learn 1/4 from your teacher. 1/4 you learn from text material. 1/4 you learn from your friends, and 1/4 from yourself. There's a Sanskrit Subhashita which goes like this: quarter, 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 quarter. Teacher's role is only a quarter. Other 3/4 comprise of reading books, mingling with the right people, motivated souls, and then the last one, of course, is you yourself. The best taught is a self-taught. Okay, you must go within and then sort of unravel your mind and then understand what is what. That's the best way to learn. What is Professor's Desk? Asks Gokula Krishnan. Professor's Desk basically is a place where we discuss questions. I pose questions and I also interact there. Okay. Okay. More. One second. I just scroll down. Very sorry. Can Alankrita Pranjal agree with Abhishek? Naufal, lectures are really good and we'll like to see reactions of programmer. Yeah, we did that. I'm sorry, I scrolled back and missed the thread. Okay, yeah, we are here. What is Professor Desk? Where can I find the Professor's Desk? Okay, Pranjal, go through discourse. Yogendra Singh, I like your energy level and it motivates me a lot. Very good. I hope my energy levels are because you guys are also energetic. I see a lot of energy here. Search in discourse, challenges. Thanks. Not a question, just appreciation. To good sir, etc. Harshit, yeah, please write to me. I like the testimonial very much. I'll preserve that for a lifetime. Pranjal, sir, want to know your views on CS50 course. Is a wonderful course. Please watch it, take it up. CS50 from Harvard is a beautiful course. Please take a look at it. I personally love the course. I always wanted to do a course like that in India. It's a high budget course. It's very difficult. So we did Joy of Computing. We in fact tried content wise. Joy of Computing has a little advanced content too. Okay, we tried mimicking CS50, although we did not have that kind of cameras and then direction and screenplay and all that. But we hope to do something at that level, maybe even beyond with time. All of you should cooperate. Maybe if you can help us create a wonderful programming course for BSc. Okay, continue being our consultants. Students can be consultants for teachers. Help us understand how we can create a course that should be like a movie. It's like watching a Hollywood movie and you learn programming. That should be the motive of the 21st century teaching, right? Ritvik Sharma, sir, you were going to tell us a question which had something to do with efficiency. That's the Konuth-Morris-Pratt genome sequence question, finding a substring within a string. Right, that was the question. Okay, have you tried OBS? Pritodeep, yes, I have tried OBS. OBS, online broadcasting, open broadcasting software, if I'm not wrong. I have used it extensively, in fact, to switch between the modes and things like that. But then to record lectures, I'm not very comfortable with OBS. I think Pritodeep is hinting that you can come online by using OBS, show your face as well, and etc. etc. I've tried that somehow. Free software is meant for people with a lot of free time. They say OBS actually hangs. For live streaming, it is wonderful. But for recording, I somehow am not found it comfortable. Anyway, I'll talk to you in case if you can help me, we can do it together. Chocolates for all, says Pitodeep. Yes, Pitodeep, definitely. Cherian George, your energy level is infectious. Yes, yes, thank you very much. Never seen the professor's desk. Meena, you should see it. My brain hangs at times, says Himanshu. Everybody's brain does. Don't worry at all. It is a natural process. It's like I said, right? You run, you sweat. You should not say, oh God, I start sweating when I run. That's what's wrong with me. It's natural to feel frustrated when you're programming. Okay. Difficulty level, beginner, I request only those, etc. Beamlish has copy pasted something. Example of professor's desk. Okay. StreamYard also, yeah, Pranjal, I have heard of it, I haven't used it. Anyway, let me get in touch with you people. Please give me tips on how we can better record the videos in such a way that it's engaging. All right, any questions, live questions, you can switch on your, unmute your speaker mic and then talk to me.
Yeah, sir, there was a question on recursion. I think it scrolled before you asked, before you could see that. Okay. And I think people have, so I have one suggestion. I don't know whether you want to try it. See, if you just go back to your own thing when you're finding the element, right? Or actually you're finding the, you're starting the list, right?
Starting the list, yeah.
The last line says return M plus, again, recursion of that.
Rest leftover list, correct.
I feel, this is my thing, and I've tried this thing. People try to read it left to right. That's typically do, and then get it confused. So if they read right to left, often it is easier to figure out recursion.
I see, correct. Okay,
so that's what is happening, right? First the recursion call is happening, and then it is getting appended. So I think that is a tip I have. I don't know whether you agree with the tip, but you might want to share something about how to.
So I should
deconstruct recursion.
Okay, so in life, look forward, but learn from backwards. They say there's a popular quote in our own. I don't remember the exact source of this. It says, in life, look forward, okay, but sort of learn from backwards. So in recursion, what Srinivasan is trying to say is we try to start from left to right. Don't do that. Learn from right to left. He's saying, look at the sorting that you are doing, and then you're appending an element to it. Okay, see it this way, it becomes easier. But then I would say, yeah, fine. So there could be some nice pedagogies that we can look at to understand recursion, but recursion is naturally a little difficult on the mind. It again takes some time, right? So you probably should read. Okay, so this is a tip which my maths teacher used to give me in my 10th standard. He would say, don't try to solve many problems with varieties. Take the same problem and solve it multiple times. Okay, you take a, this integration, differentiation and all would be 1 page long. If someone's no math background at 12th standard, 11th standard level. But the point is not to solve 100 questions. It's to solve one question, a dozen number of times. Take up the same sorting example that Srinivasan was trying to say. Okay, try to understand what's happening there. Rewrite it, redo it, rethink it, keep thinking. That's what you mean by research. When you search once again, something else is visible to you. Right, again, search once again, something else is visible to you. So keep seeing it and you will get it. The idea of recursion is, pretty simple. You have a problem this big, Take one chunk out and then solve the rest. Another chunk out and then solve the rest. Right? As simple as that. It will take some time. Right? Okay. So please try to soft run the code in your videos. It would help in better visualization. Recursively learn recursion. I remember you guys took in one of the CT sessions as well. Okay, wonderful. The compliments. Thank you very much. What is soft run the code in your videos? I do run the code, right, Abhishek? I didn't get. Maybe you can unmute the mic and explain what you're trying to say. Okay, or someone else who can decode what Abhishek is trying to say and then help us understand. Oh, okay. Oh, Abhishek, I now get what you're saying. Probably you're saying at the debugging level, slowly run the code and then show us. You know, it's called tracing your code. All right. Yeah, it will take a little more time for us to do that. We have less time. But yes, now that I have taught debugging for you people, you can do it slowly. Okay. By the way, I must tell you people this. Across all IITs generally, we have a course on programming. We don't have a course on Python. We don't have a course on C. No IIT you will see this, because we personally believe that most of it can be learned all by yourself, but we must introduce you people to what is programming, right? So the idea is to basically, the moment you learn, I keep repeating for while, if you're done, you don't need anything else. Maybe a little bit of functions, right? It gives you good coverage for programming without, getting confused or getting messy with your code, right? So apart from that, you don't have to learn much. It's all a matter of time. You want to put on muscles in your body, it's a matter of time. You cannot do 1 hour gymming into 30 full hours continuously. You should do one hour every day. So keep practicing with right intervals of time, you will do well. Okay, so yeah, computational thinking is a great course. That's right. But I also would like to tell you people that these two things, now that you have learned, the interplay will start. Whatever you learned there, you must implement it using Python. Whatever you have learned here, you must apply computational thinking here in Python. Okay, and these two things will issue out in action from next semester onwards from data structures course. Right? Okay. Any more questions? Feel free to ask me any kind of silly questions you may have. We don't discuss often, although I strongly intend to talk to you people at least once a week. It is not happening. Hopefully every Sunday 3 to 5 will catch up, right? Hopefully next week I will be there. Or not hopefully, I think I'll make it. It's a promise. I'll make it 3 to 5 next week. Okay, Atul, maybe you can send across calendar invitation right away. 3 to 5 next Sunday, right? Any further questions? Please feel free to unmute and talk to me, tell me. Otherwise, officially the meeting is over. Atul, you want to say something? You want to announce something? Do something?
No, sir. Actually, only I think 20 minutes are remaining for this session. So okay. I'll take some problems from activity.
Okay, sure. Any other questions? Any other questions? Unmute and then please pose your question. Anything? Rishabh has raised his hand. Please go ahead, Rishabh. Unless you have forgotten to put your hand down. Okay, you put your hand down now. Okay. Anyone else? Any other question? Okay, next, a quick word on what is coming next week. Next week is about file handling. Trust me, programming means your input does not come from the keyboard. Okay, it only comes, sort the following numbers, enter all the numbers, 7, 4, 16. That's only for educational reasons we teach that way. Almost every single program, the input is from a file. The output is also to a file. Okay, so we are doing file handling this time. It's actually quite an important advanced concept. You people should learn it well. So please ensure that you resolve your doubts on discourse, or even write to me for that matter if something is not resolved there on discourse. All the best. And yeah, keep coding. That's the only way you can run a marathon with continuous practice. Right? Don't get complexed. The inferiority complex is very common in our life. Whenever we see someone do really well, we think we can never reach them. The point is, it's only a matter of time, right? Consistent practice will take you to great heights. Thank you all very much. Love you all. Take care. Yeah, and keep in touch. Be there on discourse. Actively participate on Professor's Desk. Okay. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Atul Pratap Singh. So for the remaining time, for the remaining 20 minutes, I will take this session. So someone have a question about the portal, so you can ask me, or test case like private public test case.
No, after the graded assignment deadline is over, it is showing, showing the solution code also, tab also, and showing all the private cases also. So many, I can't say about many, but I feel that at times I'm not able to complete few of the assignment questions. Then in such cases, keeping the submit tab open will help us to practice our
So, for the graded assignment, it is not possible after the deadline. But for the practice programming, so I will discuss with the team. So definitely you can this problem will be resolved for the practice programming.
If that is the case, then those questions of graded assignment, if those can be included in practice assignment after the deadline is over, I think that will help.
So that I think is very complicated, but like first thing is possible, I believe. So that thing, if you can implement, like just like the practice and activity questions are there, like you can just enable the submit button after the thing, and like the
yeah. But test case, I think included in the solution PDF file.
Like that should be included.
Like I said, we don't want to look into the solution code. We first try out our code and to understand whether we did it correctly or not. That if submit button remains active even after the deadline, that will surely help.
Okay. I will discuss with the team for the practice programming, not for a graded, because
then in that, if graded assignment questions cannot be done, then including the graded assignment questions as a practice questions, that will help after the deadline is over. Let the question be there in the graded assignment section.
But you can solve on the Replit or any other editor.
Yes, that is what on Replit for me, I write it on Replit and then I copy paste it on the portal and execute it. Some of the cases, like say 4 out of 5 private cases passed. So then again, I go back and fine tune it. So if submit button is active, then this will help.
Okay. For practice programming, I will discuss with the team.
Yeah, one more thing, like please.
But I think for graded programming, it is I think not possible to remain open the submit button.
Yes, sir. Sir, if the test run button could be there, I think it should be enough, sir. Even though if we don't have the submit thing, the test run is there, it should be fine.
Yeah, okay.
That
for
could
the
be there.
Test case, okay, I will discuss with that portal.
Yes.
That is not possible for graded assignment. Then including the private cases later on into the test run cases will help.
Okay. I will discuss with the portal team. I'm asking for that. Is it possible or not?
One more thing, like, can you discuss one question, like specific question, or like you won't discuss like this?
Actually, today I have a question from the activities, BKT activities, problem number 11. So I think time is only 15 minutes approx.
So one.
Yeah.
So like apart from graded assignment, programming assignment, the assignment in which we have MCQs, like we have snapshots of of code and all. So mostly what I do personally is that I either open my Jupyter notebook or something, and I then run that and get to the answer about MCQ. So will it be possible for us in the quiz or in the final exam to do such thing?
No. For in the final exam, there is no editor or there is no compiler for this type of problem.
Okay, so
but we will get compiler like for the programming stuff.
I think quiz will be same type of graded theory or graded practice theory based. So this time I cannot commit anything. So
no, I mean the thing is that if there is nothing like this in the quiz or in the exam, then how will we debug our? I mean, we won't have a chance to debug our
No, there is no chance. You cannot copy or you cannot run anywhere in the quiz.
Not even in the portal itself.
No.
So it means like we'll have to write the exact.
Yeah, you have to compile in your mind, then get the output.
Like no tester and nothing.
No. So question are totally based. I think total quest only based on the logical base, not a coding base.
Okay, you
You
mean
know,
say,
I think you don't need to write a code.
okay, that's good.
Multiple sorry, is it like we used to had in CT exam and quizzes?
So actually, I don't know about the CT, how the CT done. So this is actually MCQ, MSQ, or input types quiz. Okay.
Thank you. Got the idea.
Sir, in CT we had certain.
So I think you will get the notification from about the quiz. After that, you can confirm this type of the quiz. Okay. So after the getting the notification,
there will be a mock quiz, right?
Yeah, definitely. You will get the mock quiz.
Okay, sure.
Will there be live coding to be done in the quiz or what?
No, there is no live coding in the quiz.
No, like we do in graded programming assignment, such kind of questions will be there in the quiz because
I think there's no programming assignments. I think question will be based on the theory, like a graded theory or like a practice theory. This type of questions.
And even suppose there is a question based on theory, all the kind of what kind of say question is like, which is the correct piece of
like just what will be the output of the for these code,
or whether
okay, some code is given and then ask for the output. Yeah, ask for the any variable value like this.
Whether the piece of code is correct or any syntax error.
Yeah, this type of.
Sir, like we have so many syntax now, so we don't remember each of the syntax.
Yeah, so exactly like this, like four options regarding. Let's say there are 4 options, and each option contain a different set line of code, and just the syntax are different. So it won't be possible, humanly possible, for us to remember all the syntax.
Exactly. And like especially if we go along with dictionary tuples and this thing list, so we do have a variation of the syntax and the commands used in them. So we can get stuck into
your voice is not clear. Meena, what are you asking?
Sir, I was saying we have done with dictionary tuples and like list and cast. So we also have commands which are like are slightly variation with them. So sometimes we don't remember the syntax. So if that happens with the answer option, so that would be a problem to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, like, there are 4 options and exactly all the options are exactly similar, just the syntax are very different. So it won't be, like possible for us to remember all the syntax for, let's say, appending a list, or let's say, adding some new key value pair to a dictionary. There are many syntax for, doing the one task in Python, like, adding a key value pair to the dictionary. There are many syntaxes for the same. And
so syntax mean what about
syntax mean let's say you can write like D, and you can like, how can you assign a new key value pair to a dictionary, already existing dictionary? There are many ways for that. Okay, and if until
so I think question will be totally based on your syllabus that have covered, and totally based on the quizzes like a graded as a theory, like a practice theory. So not I think there is no question from outside.
No, that's what my question initially. That's my question initially. Like in the graded assignments, not the programming assignment, the graded question assignments that we get for every week, there are questions in which it is mentioned to find the right choice of the options, in which one option contains a different syntax for the same answer. Another option contains a different syntax, but it also gives the same answer.
I think there are 4
I have an
type of
example
code.
for that. I have to have an example like in regarding SQR function, square root function. So we don't exactly remember that syntax. Whether it is SQR bracket or we are putting the values into that. So in that kind of question, we can get stuck because syntax is varying and Python is not something. It's like small thing or something, and we are not expertise in this thing.
So actually, this is course are totally based on the Python programming. No? So you have to remember some basic syntax. Not all all these function like a list have many methods.
Can I share my screen, sir, please, for the one question? This one question.
No, this is not in my hand. I think.
If
you can
like
share in the
courses
chat
like
box if you have any questions.
In Stas 2 and maybe in Maths 2 also, they share with us all the main important formula sheet kind of thing. So any such thing can be prepared for this course also. That will help us a lot.
No,
Oh,
Python,
like a
entire thing is there, right? Already has been published, I thought.
Yeah, already Karthik sir have already prepared some notes.
Very nice summary. Very nice notes, I should say, sir. Very nice notes.
Yeah. So you can go through it for the syntax or everything.
Yeah, and if I can add, sir, I went through it. I found it very, very useful. I think each week was about a page or 2 pages. It was a very nice summary.
Yeah, Karthik is still preparing the solution for week 8 or 9. So then it will release very soon. Okay. Any another question? Something someone asked about the private test case, public test case. Sometimes private test case not passed. Okay, not there.
Sir, I didn't ask this question, but I do have that question in mind. Like sometimes the output, because we are doing it, I'm doing it on Replit before putting it into the test run case. So there, like the output is coming out, but in test run it is not coming out, and it's showing test case not passed.
So basic idea for the solution for this type of problems is just read the problem statement carefully and think about all the corner cases according to the problem statement. Not prepare a solution just for a particular public test case. So write your solution for the all corner case, because the private test case have the all corner case type of input according to the problem statement.
Okay.
Okay. So anyone else? Have any query?
Sir, which Karthik sir notes you were referring to? Like one on the Replit?
No, I think he's prepared some website or based questions. There are all the big topics are there.
Like, could you just provide the link, or if somebody else can provide?
I think link has already on the portal. I've checked just.
In the portal, like where I didn't got it. Like.
Okay, I'm seeing.
I have put it in the chat. Please check the chat.
Yeah,
and it is in refresher week, additional content, and then there is a list of PDF files, indexed PDF files, so you can look at that.
So where is your link?
I have put it in the chat.
Okay.
Big 7 refresher week, sir.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyone else? If any query? I think time is 4:57. So I think there is no query. So I wind up the session.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.